Good morning, welcome to a morning review. This is Kim Watson speaking on Wednesday, the 3rd of February. Okay, looking at the euro dollar first, and as you can see, the euro is back towards its upper wedge pattern here to these prior supply areas. It seems to be having a little reaction already from this sort of level. Looking at the 4 hours, it's not really. I was just looking to see if there's any sort of divergence there. Nothing significant. It's just continued in this sort of bigger rangy chop. That said, it's looking like there's a possible bit of a rollover here. If it does start rolling over, we'll obviously targets the 50 MA and the daily S1 area, which is just round about, or just slightly lower than yesterday's lows. So if it starts rolling, they're the targets I'd be looking for. To the upside, if it does start the morning well, break of these, actually I probably don't need to be that far back, and just sort of looking at this more aggressive trend line running across the highs here. A break of this could see us coming back in towards yesterday's highs in the R1 area. So there's opportunity both ways in terms of the trend where we've got these higher lows kicking in up until this point here when it got a bit messy, put the higher high in and then took out the prior low there. So it's now in this sort of consolidation phase again. So we're really looking to see which direction it goes. Preference would be for it to just carry on running upwards, but that may not be there. Okay, cable. Cable's again trying to push towards its highs. It's already this morning sort of pushed up into that region and just having a bit of a retracement from there. Just looking to see a bit more clue of cable. It's a bit, to me, it's rather messy at the moment, but oops, see if I can get out of the trend line, pick it up. There we go. Yesterday it just pierced the previous day's highs there, but didn't manage to get up there. So oops, there we go. Just looking to see if it can push up, but at the moment I've also got a trend line coming in along these lows here, which it starts breaking those, so it could be testing a daily pivot gain, maybe that 50 MA, which is below as well, which would tie in reasonably with the euro. But again, we haven't seen a lot of correlation between the pound and the euro recently, so it's not something to count on. But if it does break on there, then that's the sort of areas I'd be looking at initially. Then maybe if it's can't hold on to its gains at all, that S1 area. It certainly doesn't look great at the moment on this hourly, but obviously it's not finished. Okay, dollar yen. And dollar yen, yen gained back against the dollar yesterday, or up until early hours this morning when it's caught that monthly pivot. It's great because there's another stat out of the way, but having a bit of a bounce off there at the moment. It's just struggling a little bit around where price is. If it does start rallying, you've got the 21 moving averages just above, but there is an untouched daily pivot, which would be a good target. Those 21s have been hit before, so the thought would be that it may well go through that towards the 34 and possibly push on towards the 50 if it gets any sort of momentum. At the moment, it looks in the early stages of a bit of a retracement. Aussie dollar. Now, yesterday ended up quite a solid down day yesterday, and we've already broken the lows of yesterday, finding a bit of support back off the lower bands here, which may hold a bit, but the big move that occurred around midday was on the trade balance, which is at record highs negatively. But it seems to be making a bit of recovery off these lows here. At the moment, looking at the sort of the range what we've done, we could be getting back towards yesterday's daily pivot. It looks quite a way at the moment, but there is the possibility maybe recover that distance The only thing is it's just coming back into these prior lows, which may provide a bit of resistance. If you can get beyond that area, though, maybe it's got a reasonable probability of getting back towards the pivot there, and maybe pushing on. Already hit the S1, so overall in terms of range of it may be a big ask for it to get right away back to its R1 sort of territory, but certainly to the daily pivot seems a possibility. And finally, Canadian dollar. Before I look at that too much, I need to just flick onto oil, of course. And oil has given back much of its gains in 2 days, what it took all last week to do. It's given much of that back, and it's at the moment looking like it could head back down towards that $28 a barrel. Looking at the 4 hourlies, it's sort of been such a long time since it's hit the upper band, though. If this current sort of move can stay in, perhaps it could push up back towards the upper bands, 8 moving average, for example. Looking at shorter time frames on oil, yep, back maybe get back towards its daily pivot there. It has got a target there. So the Canadian dollar, then let's look properly at the Canadian dollar, and well, with oil weakening, we've seen a bit of a bounce, not a major bounce. I thought the Canadian dollar may have reacted more and been sort of more up towards its monthly R1 by now, but it's been pretty mellow in terms of its overall move here. Just run into resistance into the 4 hourly 50s there, the daily 8, almost 21 as well, and it's just putting a bit of a retrace from that. So it's got its daily pivot below, which on the hourlies here we can see, so it could well come back for that. But one thing you notice, sorry, I've just got a regression trend line on here. You can see it's clearly broken from that trend, so it looks like with these higher lows it could be pushing back up, but probably like to see that daily pivot cleared out first. But nice clean technical pattern on there at the moment, as I say. It's already tested its 21, so a break of that level may just come and catch the daily pivot. Right, that's pretty much it for me. We have got some news out though today. We'll have the services PMI in the UK. He says it's, make sure I've got the right day today. Be good instead of yesterday. That's it. So yep, services PMI today. Then we've got the ADP non-farms coming out at 1:15. This has started to give more volatility, as I've said, for the last few months. It's a bit more volatile around this number now. And then at 3 o'clock we've got the ISM non-manufacturing figures, or the services figures for the US. So a little bit later, if you're watching the Canadian dollar, there's at 3:30 we've got crude oil inventories, and again that may give a bit more of a kick to the likes of the Canadian dollar, maybe, if inventories have gone up higher. So as I say, main figure 9:30, services PMI at 1:15, ADP on farms, although that might be a little bit more muted now because it seems that they're becoming a little bit more dovish towards further rate cuts at the moment. And then later on at 3 o'clock, 1500 hours, we've got the ISM non-manufacturing figure for the US. So they're the key figures I'll be looking at this afternoon or today. Okay, have a great day. I'll be back in the morning. Bye for now.